All right, now what is a simulation? A simulation is a way that we could try to kind of represent a real world scenario. It's trying to represent, like, project what reality would say. So you use simulations a lot in the real world. You could use it for, I think sometimes they use it for, like, airplanes might use it, cars might use it. There's a lot of different ways a lot of areas you see simulation. So what it does, it tries to project reality, and so you use that to try to project, like, what's going to happen in reality. And so, sometimes, you see computer programs that do this. I'm going to do a very basic simulation here. I'm going to use a random number table to simulate the outcomes of tossing a balanced penny 10 times. So what you have to do is you have to first assign outcomes. Okay, so if you're going to, each number could be a coin flip. Okay, so I will assign, so if I've got a coin flip, I've got heads and tails. And so that's an equally likely opportunity. So I could assign 0 through 4 to be heads and 5 through 9 to be tails. I could assign odd digit to heads and even digit to tails. Okay. So just a way to separate it, you could do 0, 4 for heads and 5 through 9 to be tails. Okay. You just kind of pick however you want to do it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I assign that. Then once again, I'm going to read I'm using a number table this time. You can use your calculator for this. You could do random int, 1 to 100. Okay. And then, if it comes up odd, then it would be heads, and the tails would be, or even it's tails. You could do 1 to 2, or 1's heads, 2's tails. Okay. And so you could do that as well. So there's an infinite number of ways you could make a simulation for flipping a penny 10 times. So read the number table left to right, 1 digit at a time. Okay. And I don't need to ignore repeats on this one. I will continue now. When am I going to stop? I'll continue until I have 10, or I guess read 10 numbers, or have read 10 digits. All right. So, like, first off, 3 is an odd. So odd is heads. 7's odd. So it's heads, even. Okay. Heads, even. Or even, I'm sorry, odd. So heads, even, tails. So there's my 10, first 10. I'll kind of ignore the rest. So I had 5 heads, 5 tails. All right, let's look at the next one. Even, so tails. Odd, heads, tails, heads. So that's 4 heads and 6 tails. All right. Next one, I have an odd. So heads, tails, heads, tails, heads. So this one is 5 heads, 5 tails. So this is just giving you an idea. And if you do this, you might have times where it goes a little crazy. Like you might get 8 heads and 2 tails, or vice versa. Okay. But that's reality, though, because if you flip a coin, there's going to be times where you get a lot of one, certain type. So that's just an example of a small example of a simulation.